Welcome everyone! In this video, we are in the Weather Cup, showcasing some more fun battles featuring Pelipper. Pelipper on team number 1 from my top 5 best teams for the Weather Cup. And if you guys will recall from my top 5 best teams, I actually had the team aligned a little bit differently with Pelipper on the lead. Started out with that original alignment, but then adjusted to put Lanturn on the lead and have Pelipper in the back. And also on this team, we've got Toxapex on the safe swap. Toxapex is a very strong workhorse in this meta. With the poison typing, does very well against the fighters in the meta. The two most prominent fighters, I would say, would be, of course, Blaziken, and we are seeing more Poliwraths pop up here and there. So very strong, reliable safe swap option, along with Lanturn on the lead, as mentioned. Now, you guys, in the bonus battles, we'll see the original recommended alignment from the top 5 best teams video with Pelipper on the lead and Lanturn in the back, but I was having some success with it, but then made the adjustment, like I mentioned, and put Lanturn on the lead, and that was quite nice. And before we dive into the featured set of the video, gonna start things off with some bonus battles that I thought were a lot of fun. Here we go, positive lead. We've got a Poliwrath on the lead. They make a play into a Charm A9, and I misclick. Holy smokes. Oh, that was not fun at all. I was so upset when I did that, guys. Obviously, we would want to bring in our Poison Jabber onto the Charmer. So now we're forced to tap dance our way around this misclick here. It's fine. Lanturn can still do just fine up against Charm, Alolan Ninetales. The best way I find to play this is to build up to the big Thunderbolt and just keep going straight Surf. You always want to be threatening with the bigger move, but you will force shields and the Surfs will add up, especially if they let one through. Down, we really have to rely on those rank 1 IVs coming in clutch, getting to the Surf, allowing us to say bye-bye to the Charmer. And they've got their own Lanturn in the back. So at this point, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, did I throw this game by misclicking and bringing Lanturn in onto the Charmer? Oh my goodness. Really going to have to tap dance around this one. We've got to absolutely shield up the Thunderbolt. Lanturn is an absolute nightmare for our Pelipper in the back. We tried over farming by 1, and they still somehow catch our move. Holy smokes. But that's fine. So what we're going to do is obviously farm this thing all the way down to Funky Town. We tank their charge moves all day. Shields are down on both ends. And the play here now is to land a resisted Hurricane. Yes, it is resisted, but guys, Pelipper hits like an absolute truck. Does enough damage to perhaps set our Toxapex up to do okay here. And probably should have read that they would not allow us to get to another Hurricane. Should have thrown a Weather Ball there. Having to play our way out of this comedy of errors here on our end. We knew that we were going to have to tank a Thunderbolt, but Pelipper put in the work. Got the thing down low enough to where our Poison Jabs plus a Brine should just about seal the deal. We get to this Brine, and we're saying bye-bye to the Lanturn. Holy spokes. Team number 1. So good, able to allow you to play out of misplays. Good game, well played. Oh, had to employ some tactical maneuvering in that last one, but we got it done in the end. And yes, guys, like I said, in these bonus battles, you're going to see the original recommended alignment. But as we move into the featured set, we will see the adjustment to putting Lanturn on the lead. So just to give you guys both looks here, both work just fine. It's just a matter of what you're seeing a lot of at your particular elo. They do let our Hurricane through. It's a Toxapex. Gonna look to catch their Sludge Wave onto our own Toxapex. Preserving health on Pelipper can be quite valuable in this meta. And they make a play into a Razor Leaf Ludicolo. So this is where Toxapex can be quite clutch in this meta. Not only does it handle the fighters in the meta, but can do quite well against the grass types as well. Obviously, because we do run Poison Jab. And can pressure shields with the Sludge Wave, which is exactly what we did there. We did grab a shield. Gonna go for the Brine here. Not going to make it to another Sludge Wave, but it's low enough to where Brine can threaten, and they they two-shield their Ludicolo. That's amazing. That is huge. All we have to do now is shield up whatever this is. It's Ice Beam. Either charge move would hurt Pelipper quite a bit, and we do farm it down. Not sure what they'll want to come back in with. They do choose to come back in with the Toxapex, so Weather Ball's not quite going to cut it. We are still up a shield, so we can afford to go for this Hurricane. We do take it out. And they've got another Razor Leafer in the back in the form of Shadow Abomasnow. We're not quite going to make it to a Hurricane. So just going to chip with this Weather Ball and hopefully get it low enough to where it's in Thunderbolt range for our Lanturn. And that is exactly what we were able to do with our Pelipper. Oh, you love to see it. We get to this Thunderbolt, we're bulky, we're saying bye-bye to the Shadow Abomasnow, and just like that, Lanturn, one shield flexing on the double Razor Leafer team. You absolutely love to see it. Good game, well played. Oh, had a lot of fun with team number one, and like I said, we did end up switching Lanturn to the lead because we were doing okay, pretty consistent, but I was finding that we were running into a brick wall with all the Basti and Lanturn leads, so I figured Lanturn would be a little bit more consistent on the lead, but here we go. We had a Pelipper mirror. We do shield up the Hurricane. We didn't want to take that much damage, reading that they would swap into something to try and farm down. And that's exactly what they were looking to do. They come in with a Basti, so it's really nice to bait this out with our Toxapex because we are quite bulky enough to hang in here long enough to really slowly but surely chip away at this Bastiodon. We are down a shield, so we're not going to look to shield anything from the Bastiodon. As you can see, we're quite bulky, even with an attack weight, and I purposely chose to go with an attack weight on my Toxapex just to maybe hit a potential breakpoint. I didn't research that at all, but I do find that we do win CMP a lot in the mirrors, and not going to allow the Basti to farm us down. So we're going to pivot into our Lanturn here. Their switch timer is not quite up yet, so we're going to take full advantage of that and either pressure shields on this Basti or just take it out completely, as it's bad news for our Pelipper. They let it go. That is amazing. And they've got a Shadow Marshtomp on their team. Holy smokes. They are running some insanely fun spice here. But this thing is quite spammy. Has some decent bulk. Even in its Shadow form, it runs Mud Bomb, Surf, and Sludge. They do take us out with the Mud Bomb, and they are still up on shields. They are protecting those shields, preserving them for the Pelipper to perhaps sweep. Things are looking a little rocky, a little rough here, as our Toxapex is still quite low. But we do still have it for a potential catch. That's why we preserved it. And we do correctly shield up the Hurricane. That was massive. So just going to go straight Weather Ball here as shields are up, and they really do need to take out our own Pelipper. So the play here now is to hope like heck that we can get to back-to-back Weather Balls. That's the play. We're going to try our very best here. We do get that wing attack through, so now we have to live this next Weather Ball, and we have to undertap. We live, and we get the undertap. That is amazing. If we had overtapped, it was lights out, but because we undertapped, we're saying bye-bye to the Pelipper, and we're able to do big damage with yet another Weather Ball onto this Shadow Marshtomp here. Didn't quite KO, but hopefully some resisted poison jabs will do the trick, and they do. Man, that one got a little sweaty, but we got that one done in the end. Good game, well played. Well, those were some fun and sweaty bonus battles, but we now move into the featured set of the video with Lanturn on the lead, and here we go. Positive lead for us. They have their own Toxapex on the lead, so we are A-okay right here. Just going to look to build up and throw on the CMP tie here to the Sludge Wave. They can definitely let this go. They definitely live it. We need 2 of these to KO. And they also need 2 Sludge Waves to KO, I believe. Actually, I think 1 plus Poison Jabs plus Brine actually may do the trick. So we're just going to overload, wait for a catch, and they do try to catch onto a Lanturn of their own. So Not ideal, as our Lanturn is the best answer to an opposing Lanturn, but we do have the energy advantage, so we're going to take full advantage of that and go for the back-to-back Thunderbolts, get it quite low, and they do throw. So that is amazing. This is a potential Surf. It will KO, but our Lanturn absolutely put in the work there. So we're going to try and actually farm this opposing Lanturn all the way down. Can't quite get the farm down, and they are going to get to a Thunderbolt. We let this go, putting the hope and faith into Pelipper, but they've got a Basti in the back. Oh, that is awful. That is absolutely awful. Tanking that Thunderbolt is likely going to do us in, guys, because they can just smack down us all the way down, and these brines just don't do enough, and the triple resisted poison jab fast move pressure is virtually non-existent. So gonna throw Pelipper in here and try and pull off a miracle. Shields are still even. We are gonna have to now start to shield, as a Stone Edge would be lights out for our Pelipper here. We have to be careful of a catch. They do try to catch. We know that this is just a brine, so we can let this go. And we have to save the shield for the Basti. Gonna try and max out on energy. There's no way we're farming down. We would just take way too much poison jab damage. They do let that go. And we need, I believe we need 3 or 4 weather balls. And I don't think we're gonna make it, guys. This is not looking good at all. These smackdowns are hitting us for super effective, and Pelipper just does not have the bulk to withstand this onslaught of smackdowns. And unfortunately, our Toxapex is just not healthy to withstand the onslaught as well. Gonna try one last Hail Mary brine, but we knew it was not gonna KO. Basti, too thick, too bulky, just could not get that one done, but good game, well played to our opponent. Oh, that one was rough. Just could not quite get the alignment, and that back line was really brutal for us. But here we go. Sea King. This one is a very interesting pick. Triple Legacy Sea King is very interesting. They do have access to Drill Run, and Sea King does hit pretty hard, so we will have to shield. They do slightly outpace us, so we're just going to go straight for the Thunderbolt. A lot of Lanturn trainers like to bait, so we do go for it, but they do shield, so that is very interesting. Sea King kind of core breaks a little bit, guys. It can hit 2 of our Pokemon for super effective, and Icy Wind. Pelipper doesn't like Icy Winds from a Pokemon that hits this hard either. Gonna try and throw one more Thunderbolt, and they do let it go. That is amazing. We would have pivoted if they had shielded that, and they've got a Basti in the back, so this is okay. They try to catch. And that's fine. We're going to throw this Thunderbolt to chip this Tentacruel here, as Tentacruel quite bulky. And we're actually going to align Pelipper onto it. You could align Toxapex onto it as well, but Pelipper, shields are down. We can hit this thing with a massive Hurricane and still potentially leave with energy to threaten the Basti. So that's the play here. That's what we're going to do. We do get to this Hurricane. Like I said, Tentacruel, quite bulky, still does not quite KO, but we will get enough farm to leave this matchup with a move. That was the goal. That worked out beautifully. Going to go for this Weather Ball. Any bit of chip damage you can get on Basti is always... should always be very much welcomed, as Bastiodon can be quite the handful. So our Toxapex is pretty healthy. Our Lanturn's still relatively healthy as well. We're going to have to just tag team this Basti and hope for the best here. We do tank a couple of Stone Edges, no problem. And although they are triple resisting our poison jabs, we could still fight back with some super effective brines. They do add up slowly but surely over time. And our opponent is playing this very wisely. What they're doing is they're going to look to just cap out on energy and hope to take out our Toxapex with one Stone Edge, and they will be 2 Smackdowns off from a second. That's how they're playing this. But our 2 remaining Pokemon are quite bulky, guys, and we're going to try and hope for the best. Bank on these rank 1 IVs to perhaps allow us to survive. We survive. We undertap. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Team 1 coming in so clutch. We get to this Surf. We're saying bye-bye to the Basti. My goodness. Had to tag team that Basti, but Toxapex and Lanturn got it done in the end. Good game, well played. Pelipper on team number 1 was very strong. It did quite well on the lead and as a closer. And here we go. Kingdra lead. Pretty neutral. Gonna go into Toxapex actually. Not sure what they could have in the back. We can really pressure this Kingdra here. We just do. They are staying in a little bit. Generally when they do that, they want to get big damage off. So we do shield out of caution. That's a good shield right there. Outrage, although we are quite bulky, does quite a bit. We're going to fire back with a big move of our own, and they shield. That is very interesting. That means they're weak to a potential poison type in the back. So we're going to look to put the pressure on this Kingdra here. Going to actually bait this time. And we do grab the second shield. Holy smokes. What do you have in the back, trainer? My goodness. They are protecting this Kingdra as if their lives depended on it. Gonna call this or let this go and just look to come in. We don't want to go shields down on our end. We're just gonna, well, we're gonna have to now. We don't want to have to tank this big outrage. They are trying to do a lot with that Kingdra, and now we can see why. They were quite weak to poison, electric, and flying, which is good news for us. They have an Araquanid, and we're just going to actually pivot into our Pelipper here. Not sure what they could have in the back here. They do have this Araquanid, and they are staying in. Holy smokes. They must be extremely weak, but shields are down, guys. We're getting rid of this large, tanky spider. And now we see why we had the perfect team to go up against theirs. No wonder they were trying to put in so much work with that Kingdra. We are going to go for this Weather Ball. It's a Blaziken. We're farming this thing down. And we're going to Weather Ball the Kingdra and seal the deal with our Pelipper. Holy smokes, the stars aligned for this one. We say bye-bye to the Kingdra. And just like that, Pelipper has swept the end game. You absolutely love to see it. Good game, well played. Team number 1 was absolutely putting in the work in this Weather Cup. You love to see it. Here we go. Blaziken. The beauty of all these people running Blaziken is they have nowhere to go with this team. It is a thing of beauty, guys. If you encounter a Blaziken, you can grin ear to ear, because it's generally an easy win. But they are putting up a fight here on the lead, shielding up our Surf, staying in. Going for a Blaze Kick here. I know that we tank their big move, whether it be Brave Bird or Blast Burn. And they're double shielding, so we pivot into our Toxapex here. Not sure what they're angling for here. But they have used both of their shields on this Blaziken. Gonna let this go. It's a Focus Blast, so holy smokes, my goodness. That would have done a lot. I was not expecting that. I have seen Stone Edge, I've seen Brave Bird, I've seen Blast Burn, but rarely do I encounter a Focus Blast Blaziken in this meta. And they do have a Bastiodon, so this is okay. We are still up a shield. Thank goodness we preserved our Lanturn. I had a sneaking feeling that Blaziken was up to no good, so I'm glad I relied on my instincts and pivoted into the Toxapex. Gonna just go for as many brines as we can. Switch timer is now up, and we're gonna pivot into our Lanturn here. Their switch timer is out of sync with ours. And we know that we live a Stone Edge, no problem. And just going to look to build up to a Surf and go for the Surf. Get rid of the annoying Bastiodon. That's a major obstacle out of the way for our Pelipper. We say bye-bye to the Basti. And they've got a Shadow Kingdra in the back. So this is okay. This is quite fine for us. We just have to really be careful of a catch. We are up a shield. This Shadow Kingdra has no shields, which means that we can absolutely put in work here. Gonna have to shield this up, and it is just an Octazooka, and we do get the debuff. We're over farming, waiting on the catch, and because they debuffed us, we're not able to farm this Blaziken down, unfortunately, so we're forced to throw energy. So now what we're gonna do is swap into our Toxapex to clear that debuff, and we win CMP tie over the Kingdra, getting to this Hurricane. Pelipper puts in the work, allowing us to say bye-bye to the Kingdra. And my goodness, Pelipper on team number 1 was putting in the work. Good game, well played. So guys, if you're seeing a lot of Blaziken, maybe a lot of Poliwrath, you can grin ear to ear with team number 1. Here we go. That's an awful lead. We had a Ludicolo on the lead. We pivoted into our Toxapex, and they made us with an Empoleon. Holy smokes. Was not expecting to see one of these. So now at this point in my head, in this moment, I'm really hoping that this is not a double steel line with a Basti in the back. That would just be awful for us. So we have not seen the third just yet. We see one steel type. That's usually an indicator that there's another one lurking in the back. So, but we don't know that. So we're going to hang in here and do our very best. Just going to go for the brine here. Everything's resisted. They do double resist our fast move pressure with the steel typing, and they throw. That is very interesting. Maybe got a little antsy, a little nervous, and they go Hydro Cannon there. So now this is perfect for our Lanturn. Lanturn absolutely hard walls everything that Empoleon could possibly throw at it. It's about as dominant as it gets. Literally everything Empoleon could throw, we do hard wall with our Lanturn. Fully expecting that Ludicolo running Razor Leaf to come back in, so we are waiting and we are pivoting right back into Pelipper. And they're staying in a little bit, likely trying to set up a catch. Not going to happen. They tried to catch onto a Poliwhirl, so we're actually going to bait with a Weather Ball, and we do grab the shield, reading that they have to get rid of this Pelipper. Gonna bait again, get those shields down, and try and land that big Hurricane. We do have to be very cautious of a potential Blizzard. Yes, it hits for neutral, but my goodness, it hits for a lot of neutral. So we're absolutely going to shield up everything from this Poliwhirl. And we do get to the Hurricane here. Was really hoping that this would KO, but it hangs on by a thread. Poliwhirl, quite tanky. That does not quite KO, but we can farm this thing down. They're just baiting our shields with Weather Ball, and at this point they threw another Weather Ball. I knew that they did not have Blizzard, but better to be safe than sorry, right guys? So now what we're going to do, get a couple of wing attacks in, chip it down into Thunderbolt range on this Ludicolo. We had the energy stored, which means we're saying bye-bye. And we have closed the game with our Lanturn. Oh, my goodness, team number 1 was putting in the work in the Weather Cup. My goodness. So yeah, very strong, very solid team here. Gave you guys a couple of looks in the initial team video, top 5 best teams video. I had Pelipper on the lead. And like I said, it was doing okay. We were getting consistently getting 3-2s out of the deal with it. I wanted to switch it up and see how Lanturn would do on the lead, and that was actually a lot more consistent for us. But you could run either one, either variation, either alignment, and still do just fine with team number 1. But guys, I had a blast. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, I thank you for watching, and keep up the grind. Thank you, guys.